Hi Crafty Friends, it's Jen from Katahdin Crafts, and I am back today with another mystery swap with my friend Carrie Rhodes from Carrie Stamps. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We did a Dollar Tree DIY home decor project. Now what we decided to do was get something from the Dollar Tree and alter that. So Carrie has done this a few times in the past and they came out really super cute. And so this was outside of my comfort zone or my box a little bit, but it was so much fun and I could be doing these hearts all day long, no joke. So this is the package that I received from Carrie. As you can see, she sent me this heart, which is in 4 different pieces held together by ribbon. I'm going to zoom that out a little bit so you could see. And then she sent me all these little goodies. Now, as you can see, I'll talk you through it a little bit. I didn't use as many of the goodies as maybe I should have. I'm not really sure. But what I wanted to do ultimately was make this for something that could actually be in my bedroom year round and not just specifically for Valentine's Day. So all these lovely goodies, I have other ideas to do and I will get to those this week. I have another DIY project started from the Dollar Tree already. I sent Carrie a little package of goodies as well, and that's what we do. We purchase for each other or we take from our stash and we send each other mystery packages that we have to put together into a card or a project. And so the first thing that I did when getting ready for the project was to untie the little ribbon that's held there. And then I removed all the ribbon from the back, which was super easy. I just grabbed out a tool that slid under there to start it. And then I removed all that tape in the ribbon. And then this is what it looks like with all of the ribbon removed. So it's 4 separate pieces. And now I knew that I wanted to do this again for my bedroom, like I said. And my bedroom is a gray on the top with a chair rail and then a darker gray on the bottom. So I was trying to find something that would go with our decor. So I thought instantly, I thought black and white because I have a bunch of black and white papers in my stash. And we also have red accents in our bedroom. So I wanted to incorporate that as well. So what I first did was I picked out these 2 papers, and they are from BoBunny, I believe, one of them, and I think Kaiser Craft the other. And I've had them for a long time in my stash, so I love getting into that and being able to use some of that that's been just sitting there. So then I just took each piece and I traced it onto the paper, and then I fussy cut that out. I used my trimmer when I could for any of the straight edges, and then I chunk it out kind of with the paper or with the scissors, and then I go back and do my finer cuts after. And that method always works well for me. And I move the paper around rather than my scissors. And fussy cutting is really, especially something like this that doesn't have too many intricate parts. Fussy cutting, easy for me to say. Fussy cutting is not that bad. And then I got a little bit smarter actually on this one, and I went right to that edge and used that edge that was already there and then traced around that. So one less spot that I had to use my trimmer or my fussy cutting skills on. And then this paper was really what inspired me. I love this piece of paper, and it is part of BoBunny's Pack Black Tie Affair. And so then eventually you're going to see my dilemma of how I was trying to figure out the paper selection. Do you ever find, like, this happens to me all the time. I have too many supplies or too many pieces of paper and I get overwhelmed, and then I can't make up my mind what I want to do. So then I stay there and kind of look at that for too long, and it kind of wastes my whole craft time. Yes, this happens to me quite often. So sometimes I just consider myself a very slow scrapper because of that. Sometimes I'm very indecisive and have those issues. So yeah. So this would have worked. I like these patterns together as well, but ultimately I went with a different pattern paper for the black and white sections. But so I ended up cutting out 3 different patterns for those top and the middle. The second section or the second selection you can see was a flower, but then I went back into this paper pack of the black tie affair that matched with that lacy white paper, and this was it. This was the pattern for sure because it matches my walls perfectly with that darker gray on the bottom. So now I'm using Mod Podge in the matte finish, which doesn't really matter because I'm literally using it just for a strong adhesive on this project. I'm not going to go on top of it. So I'm just laying down a thin layer on each section of the heart, and then I'm going to add that piece of paper that I've already cut to match that specific section. And I'm going to rub that down really firmly. And as you can see, after each section that I do, I go back and then I rub down that first section again, just to make sure that the corners and everything are adhering really well. And I also laid down a mat because I can be a messy gluer. So I just went back and I made sure that I had something on my workspace. And you can see how I'm pushing that all down and keep going back to the other sections. And again, just layering down the Mod Podge. And I just put that in a disposable cup and I used a foam brush. And again, just adding that. And I love these two patterns. So it did work out. It worked out. Like, I kept on trying and it worked out. And as you can see, even with that glittery hearts and then the glitter on the other section, on that middle section, the glue and the Mod Podge works fine to cover that up, and then the paper, and you can't tell that it's there if it's a little bit thicker. I'm just going to push that down, and I'm not going to use that hole again to hang my project, so I'm not worried about going in and making sure that that hole that was used for their ribbon is open. So I'm okay with covering that up, and I think it just gives that nice clean look. And now it's all like looks elegant to me. I love it. So now came, how was I going to decorate this so I could use it every day? So I have these files for my Scan and Cut that had the words "I love us." So, I do love my husband and I. So I thought that this would be great. And like I said, we have the red accents already in our room. So I thought that I can incorporate those words with some red accents with a heart. So I cut each of those 4 times on some white cardstock, and then I grabbed my sticker machine instead of using a fine precision glue pen. I thought that this would go a little bit quicker, and I just ran that through my creative station for my sticker machine. And once I got those all through, I just made sure that I pushed them down. I didn't have to do those bottom layers because I'm going to just use adhesive when I got ready for that. So I'm just pushing that down firmly to make sure that all the adhesive is stuck where I want it to be. Going to cut that in half just to make it a little bit easier to use. And then I'm just going to slowly peel those up and then stack them on top of each other. And this will give some support and also dimension to those words. So that was my goal, was to give that some dimension and make it almost look like a chipboard. So again, I'm just stacking those all up. And then the sticker paper does kind of make it get a little bit of excess on the edges, but it's not so bad. You can either use your fingers and kind of peel that off, or you can get out a rubber eraser and that takes it right off. And I'm doing the same thing with the eye, just layering those right on top of each other. I did not put the dots through the Xyron machine because they were just too small and I didn't want to have to worry about getting those through. So I'm just using my precision glue tip for those and stacking those together. And now I'm going to play with them on my project to see exactly how I want them laid out. I have to think about those gaps in between the sections and how I can make that work. And then this was part of our stash. Our Dollar Tree stash was this cute heart, and it's glittery, and I love everything glitter. So I thought, well, that would look nice on that O. And then I thought, what should I do to make those pop a little bit more? So I went back to my Scan and Cut, and again, my selections, I have to have choices. So I went and I cut a bunch of more I Love Us, but in different colors and different sizes, so I could try to stack them a little bit and get some more definition in the colors. And as you can see, I decided to go with a black background or black base, and then the white that was stacked. And then for two of the I and the us, I went with a glittered red. And now I'm grabbing some of ribbon from my stash, and I thought that I would use that thicker, sparkly red, and I had to put this back on the back. I thought about trying to reuse the ribbon, but it was kind of stuck all over that tape, and it just wasn't really worth the time and effort to try to separate that. And honestly, I had a cat right now trying to attack me for that ribbon. He followed me from where I keep my ribbon in the hall to my craft area and was adamant that he was going to get that ribbon. It was kind of making me nervous. I kept on looking over my shoulder because he was being quite aggressive with the ribbon. He's never done that with my ribbon. He loves strings, but it was kind of funny. So I used the Mod Podge to replace the ribbon. I just layered it down with that same foam brush and then pushed that into each section. I did use the grid on my mat in order to get it evenly spaced with each other. And now I'm grabbing some Gorilla duct tape and I'm going to put that over each section just for extra insurance. I did let that dry for a little bit before I did tape it, and as you can see, I added quite a bit of tape. I just wanted to make sure that that was going to be secure, and I used a thinner ribbon and I put those on the edges so that would be where I'm going to hang it. And I added quite a bit more Gorilla tape there, and as you can see, I wasn't patient and I did not wait for that to dry, but it worked out okay. And I'm just going to trim up all my little extras, and then I have that all assembled again. And that little bit of space with the little bit of glitter coming through, I thought worked really well, especially after I added the glitter to the lettering. And now I'm still not sure how I'm going to decorate the project. I wanted to be able to use some of the stuff that we got from the Dollar Tree, but I also really did want this to be a year-round decor and not just seasonal. So I also found these little hearts in that same packet of the BoBunny paper, and I thought that this would make a nice little border at the bottom to add a little bit more interest to this project. And I thought how perfect because they are hearts. So that was just a little bit of extra bonus right there from the package. Just put that sticker. And then I decided not to use the hearts. And I went with these and just checked, but I just wanted you to keep the thought process that goes through my mind in the video so you can see all the different things that I do try when I'm planning out a project. I even tried the heart there for the dot on the eye, and I just thought that was a little bit too overpowering. And like I said before, I did want to keep this up year round. Matter of fact, it's already hung up in my room. So I really did want to keep it not too seasonal. And now I'm just adding on all the elements that I decided, and I kept this pretty simple. And sometimes the simple is the better. It already has a lot going on with all that glitter, and I thought that the pattern paper filled in that section next to the us well enough with that big flower. And so I decided to keep it just like this. And I like it. I like the way it's hung in my room. I like the way that this came out. I feel like it's a very elegant piece that I will be happy to have in my room. And my husband didn't mind it. He stuck it up there for me, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what it looks like. But thank you so much to Carrie for doing this mystery swap with me again. I have so much fun. This was something I wasn't sure how to really proceed with doing an alteration, but it was fun. I really enjoyed this whole process. And now you can see how it looks in my bedroom. Like I said, I have that dark gray on the bottom, so I thought that that matched well. And so I share a craft space with my bedroom, and we have that divider right there in order to give us some space, separation between the two spaces. My husband's office is also in here. And I thought that it definitely works well. I can see it from my craft area, which I'm letting you see my messy craft area after I get done with a project, and partially going into my bedroom. So I can see my cute little DIY heart from both sections, where I like to be, my happy space. So thank you again for stopping in and visiting with me. You can see the before and after. I really like the way that this came out. Please, if you haven't subscribed, do so and make sure you go and give Carrie some love. I will have her in the description, her link to her project. I cannot wait to see what her heart comes out to be like. I think that she's going to be putting it in her bedroom space as well. So thank you, everybody. Happy crafting. Bye for now and see you real soon.